Hi everyone, welcome back to Hotter Ones, spooky edition. As you could tell, I'm Catwoman. And if you couldn't tell that I'm Catwoman, go watch the new movie, the one with Zoe Kravitz. It's really awesome. Anyways, I hope that you have enjoyed my 31 days of Halloween on my OnlyFans. And if you haven't, you could still buy some stuff. Just ask. And, as much as these podcasts are really fun and we get to learn all about the other guests, I thought that maybe this one we could learn more about Ashley. Because there's a large portion of my life that I feel like I keep tucked away on the internet. So I put up a poll. I asked you guys to give me some topics, and I'm just going to go off of what you guys are saying. So if you don't like any of these topics, it's your own fault. Anyways, let's get into the questions. I want to start off with this topic. Somebody asked, they said, what is your relationship like with your parents and family regarding your job? And I think that this topic is something that a lot of OnlyFans girls will tell you different experiences. I am so lucky that I have two parents and an older sister who support the crap out of me. The best way to say it, they really do support me. Definitely when I brought up the idea of starting an OnlyFans to them, it was not necessarily their first pick of job that they wanted me to do, obviously. But I had already proved to them that I can make a career off of social media. I had been doing TikTok for like 2 years and I had managed to be living on my own. I dropped out of college. I was doing all this traveling. I was getting all these really cool opportunities. So once they realized that I could be independent and I could make decisions for myself, when it came to my OnlyFans, I remember my mom asking me if I was still going to be her daughter and still act the same. And I was like, obviously. So I think as long as you are having this career with a path that is very set and you're not just kind of winging it, it's not too hard to get support. This is a very different time and age. And I think that sex is going to happen no matter what. It is part of human nature. We're all promised to live, die, and reproduce. So if everyone's going to be having sex, might as well make a couple dollars off of it. And I have been able to help and support my family in ways that I never would have imagined at my age. Another question I got, what is one thing that you've done that you're proud of and one thing that you regret? This is probably going to be a different answer. I am very proud of myself for moving out of my home country, away from all of my family, to a different country, all by myself with no plan really. And I've been able to make a name for myself out here, and I'm super proud of that. And if you would have told a younger version of me that I was capable of that, let alone living in LA, she would have been gagged. But something that I regret, this is where I feel like I'm being a little bit controversial. I wish I started my OnlyFans sooner. I think that I missed out on a large chunk of income as well as marketing when I held off on starting my OnlyFans. I think mainly because there was a lot of stigma around it and I wasn't too sure what the platform was. I just kind of swept it under the rug when I saw people saying that they wanted to see me on it. If I could go back the day I turned 18, I would have started one. Your inspiration / meaning for your tattoos. Love this question. There is none. Not a single one. I liked how it looked. I want it on my body. I have a couple ones that have slight meaning, but I'm a silly girl. And a lot of the time when I tried to make them have meaning, I messed it up. For example, I have 2 pool balls. One's supposed to be the 1 ball. The other is supposed to be the 5 ball. My grandparents have a pool table in their basement, and I wanted to get a tattoo to tribute them, and I wanted to get their birth months. And I messed up. For whatever reason, I thought that May was the 3rd month of the year, so I told them to put a 3 in one of the balls. It's the 5th month. It's fine, though. I have some of my favorite artists. I have my siblings' initials. And then the rest of them, I literally probably saw it on the internet and told the tattoo artist I wanted something like it. I don't put a lot of thought into them because then it makes it scary, and I don't know. Like, I've gotten tattoos that have meaning that later in my life that meaning has completely lost all essence to me. So I really, when I get tattoos, it's mainly art that I like. What are green flags and red flags in 2024? I think green flags are staying in your own lane and minding your business, but also being able to be a hater. Like, I love a person who minds their business and doesn't get involved in drama, but could also throw down a conversation that is spicy and trashy. And I love somebody that could talk a lot of shit with me. I'm a gossiper. The girl with the podcast likes to gossip? Crazy. Why are you not doing porn yet? I love this question because I have a very good answer for it. I don't really have that big of a demand for porn, especially from my most loyal subscribers. Don't get me wrong, I don't think they'd be opposed to seeing it, but I've built pretty decent relationships with a lot of my subscribers. And as long as they're satisfied with the content that they're getting, I don't feel the needs to push myself out of my comfort zone. That being said, as soon as the demand for it gets stronger, it's definitely not something I'm opposed to, especially the longer that I've been in this industry and the more girls I've met who do it, it's more normalizing for me. I think that I have a lot of like projection on other people about doing certain kinds of content because I myself am not comfortable with it. But I have definitely grown a lot and become a lot more comfortable with my job and my career and my sexuality and my body. We've been edging stuff lately. Like, my content has definitely did a big jump from last year to this year. I'm a lot more comfortable showing certain things and being a lot more naked. I just got to get good at filming myself doing sexy things to myself because I'm an awkward person, as we know. I have a very hard time being serious. And I feel like if I were to make like a self tape, I wouldn't be able to be serious. And I don't think that that's very sexy. And I want to give you guys the best performance. So we're working on it. Somebody wanted me to talk about the creativity and originality of my content and how it makes it different. I think that I pull a lot of inspiration from Playboy, especially vintage Playboy, and a lot of my shoots are conceptual rather than it just being repetitive selfies in different lingerie sets. I love to switch up my environment, shoot in different places. I love to give previews on my other platforms. A lot of people do that, but anything that you see on my Instagram, my Twitter, my Snapchat, there's most definitely an OnlyFans version of it if you ask for it. And I shoot a lot. I do my best to have a new photo set or video set for every single day of the week. I don't like reusing stuff, or when I have a new subscriber, I don't like sending them older content. I like everybody to be very up to date with what I'm looking like because we know my appearance changes a lot. I'm always changing my hair. So I think if you subscribe to me, you would see that my content has a lot of thought behind it. What is the rise in the cuck feminization fetish? That's a big one to unload. I think if we're referring to female OnlyFans girls who are in relationships and describing their partners as cucks, if that's what we're talking about, I think that that is a really bad perspective of it. To have a relationship where the person supports your career, especially this type of career, is quite the opposite of being a cuck. I think it takes a very secure person, and it takes somebody who doesn't necessarily have traditional views on the world, which obviously doing this job, I don't have traditional views on this world. So I would not call OnlyFans girls partners cucks. I would call them confident men who beg the baddest bitch. Like, you guys all want us. They got us. I have some more questions on my Snapchat that I'm going over to now. Because a lot of you guys, when I ask what you guys want to talk about, y'all say my pussy and stuff like that. Like, what's there to talk about? It's pink. That's about it. Pink and tight. Oh gosh, somebody asked what my high school experience was like. I guess to make this question a little bit better, the path that I took to lead me up to this career definitely had a couple bumps in the road. I grew up in a really, really small town, very small high school. I went to a Catholic high school and I went through my trials and tribulations. I definitely got into substance abuse at a very young age, which looking back at it, I'm very thankful that it happened then rather than now, especially with my lifestyle and the opportunities I get to do stuff like that. Growing up, being from a small town, there was not much to do. So we we found different ways to entertain ourselves that weren't necessarily the safest or the best decisions. But because of that, I definitely met a lot of different people with different experiences. And it wasn't until I was probably like 15 or 16 that I realized that the world does not revolve around this Catholic mindset and these people that haven't experienced any hardships in their life. Like, the world is such a diverse place and everybody has a different opinion. And as soon as I kind of, started to go into college and all that stuff, I started to get sober. I stopped using substances as bad. I still smoke my weed, don't get me wrong. And I'll do an occasional psychedelic, but I think a lot of it was just being exposed to groups that I would have never been exposed to had I not gone through those hard times. And that being said, did I think that because I did all of that, I would be posting my boobs on the internet? No, but I do think that it made me a lot more comfortable with being different and not necessarily sticking to like traditional norms. That was a long, long answer, but that's that. Somebody asked what's the weird things that internet guys have said to you. I've had a lot of different weird requests. I've had a lot of different things that have been DM'd to me. I think I find it always very weird when people get mad at me for having a boyfriend. That is probably the weirdest thing that I see reoccurring. Me getting verbally assaulted over DM for being in a happy and loving relationship. I think that that's weird. I think most people who know me and who I'm communicating with on OnlyFans and like on a daily basis, they're well aware of my relationship with my boyfriend and they support it. And I think it's funny because my boyfriend started off just like you guys. So it could have been any of you. You guys are all from the same tree, babe. Another question is how relationships are doing OnlyFans. Since I've started my OnlyFans, I've been in 2 relationships. One of them, I don't think my partner was necessarily happy or proud to express what my job was to other people. He liked to shelter it. He liked to tell people that I did social media. He really didn't want people to know that part of me. And in that relationship, while it was happening, I did not see that as an issue. I respected it and I understand that it isn't normal. But once I got out of that relationship and realized that I don't want to be with somebody who feels like they need to hide me, life got a lot easier and I was single for a very long time. But the last 2 years I've been with Johnny, my boyfriend, who is my favorite person in the whole wide world. And he is so proud of what I do. He will tell anybody about it. He helps me make content sometimes. He was a big part of my Halloween looks. So now that I'm in this relationship, I've realized that, people who are supposed to be together, I think, will end up with each other. And even the things that I hate that my boyfriend does, I love, because I would rather be upset with certain aspects than not have him at all. Somebody asked if I could go into detail about my Halloween looks. I love it. I'm wearing one of them right now. There's a whole photo shoot for that. Halloween has always been probably one of my favorite holidays. And now that I do OnlyFans, it is the best month of making content because you could do stuff that you don't necessarily do year round. And this year's Halloween, I'm doing 31 days of Halloween. You've probably seen some of them by the time you're watching this. But me and my team, we decided to really go balls deep with this. We bought all new costumes. We booked out a bunch of different studios. We shot 31 looks. I think my favorite looks were definitely the one I'm wearing right now, Catwoman. Love that. Love that. Love that. I have 2 Catwoman looks. One is a latex bodysuit with the little like cat headpiece. And then this is her other Catwoman look. We did some pop culture references, like we did Kesha. We did the new Joker, the Folie à Deux. I did the Lady Gaga look. I did Jonah Hex. And then we did some like different cosplays, like Finn from Adventure Time, some Breaking Bad, the Aristocats. I definitely didn't want to make it as traditional as the previous years of the cat and the devil and the little headbands with the pieces on while I'm wearing lingerie. And don't get me wrong, the costumes are sexy, but they're different. They're sexy in ways you wouldn't expect. And at the end of the day, I take them all off for you guys, and then you get to see the goods. So let me go to Twitter now. Why haven't you made porn with your boyfriend? That's funny because I'm pretty sure I have made porn with my boyfriend. I just haven't posted it anywhere. There's nothing more authentic than being able to fast forward to the part where you know you came and rewatch that over and over again. And I truly think that my best look is while I'm getting fucked. I do think that is when I look my hottest. So people want to know about my fetishes. I have multiple. One that has been very, as of recent, and I've been getting a little bit more into it, is men moaning. My boyfriend does this thing where he moans in my ear when we have sex, and I think that's what started it. But I also do a lot of reaction videos to your guys' little self-tapes on my OnlyFans. A lot of you will send me videos of you jerking off and coming, and I will react to it. And most of the time, you guys aren't too loud, but I love when I get a loud person, and then I get to react to that. Something about it, I don't know. I feel like when men make, I don't want to use the term prehistoric noises, but like instinctual noises, like their little grunts and their huffs and puffs, that gets me going. Are you a pretty sleeper? No, I don't think I sleep pretty at all. I think that the only reason I look pretty when I'm awake is because I sleep ugly. That's the only time I allow myself to be ugly. What's your favorite color of lingerie to wear? I think if you are subscribed to my OnlyFans, you will know that I cannot go wrong with a black set. I love wearing a full black set, maybe like some lacy accents or some studs. But I do think I like to wear black because it's not as distracting as other colors, especially when you're using it to, do the deed to. I think it's important that you're not overstimulating the image with a bunch of different colors. Somebody asked if I could talk about having sex with several people. Do I like having sex with multiple people at once? I think the most I've ever done is a threesome. And they can be fun, but they also can't be fun. It depends on the person. I think it's really important now I know this. I didn't always know this, but I do think that it makes a difference if the girl's actually attracted to women. I think when you're having a threesome or sex with multiple people, it's really important to make sure that everybody feels taken care of and nobody feels left out, because it can get awkward. You can feel like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know who to touch. I don't know where to be. But if there's somebody who's attracted to you with a penis and somebody that's attracted to you with a vagina, they're going to make sure you're well taken care of. Somebody asked if I could talk about dick shapes. Now, I've been with my fair share of peener, but I do think that not a lot of people talk about this. I have never seen 2 penises that look alike. I've never seen 2 vaginas that look alike, but penises specifically, sometimes people really got some different shape to it. I love a good straight out, just goes straight. But I've also seen the ones that curve to one side or curve to the other side. And if you know how to move it, that could be really cool. But you are a winner if you have a penis that curves upward. You won the lottery. This is a different question for this specific podcast. I'm not too sure if they know what this podcast is about, but somebody asked me how to deal with shitty friends. Now, normally we talk about boobs on this podcast, but I do like this question because I've been in friend groups for a very long portion of my life, and I think the bigger my circle is, the more issues I have. And the smaller and more closed off my circle is, the more at peace I am. So my advice on how to deal with shitty friends is cut them off. If people are being shitty, don't try to make them change. Just let them be shitty and you go be not shitty elsewhere. People want me to talk about growing up in Canada. Well, growing up in Canada was definitely very normal and very average. All of the TV I watched and all of the music I listened to was always American. So the things that I enjoyed growing up were very similar to people who live in America. I do think that we are literally like the ugly sister of America. I mean, the people are prettier, but I would say there were a lot less things to do. I would compare the entirety of Canada to the Midwest. There's just not a lot going on. We had Toronto and Vancouver, and that was about it. But my whole entire family, both sides, all live in Canada. So it was really nice having very extended, large family all throughout growing up. All right, guys, I think I'm going to answer one more question. I'm going to try to find one that I've never answered before. And then I'm going to let you guys go enjoy your Halloween. These are so bad. Oh, God. They're literally, how old are you? Do you like Turkish boys? Will you marry me? I love you. You're pussy. I'm like, I gave you guys 24 hours and these are the ideas we're coming up with. Okay. Here's something that I definitely have talked about before, but you guys you like the repetition apparently. As long as it's dirty, I feel like I could talk about anything 80 times in a row and you guys wouldn't catch on. You guys would just be like, yeah. So somebody said squirting. Talk about it. I'd love to talk about it. I used to think that I could squirt. I used to be on the bed a lot. And then I watched a video of this study that they gave all of these girls these blue iodine pills to swallow. And the whole purpose of swallowing that was it turned their pee bright blue. And then they all put them in a room and then they asked for them to all make themselves squirt. And all of the squirt juice was blue. So squirting is a myth. Women are peeing in your bed. Don't let them do that. Not gonna lie, it's hot sometimes. Like, I get that point of it, but I do think it's really annoying when girls are like, yeah, like squirting is XYZ, squirting is this. I'm like, squirting is pee. You heard it here first. I'm telling you the truth. I wouldn't lie to you guys. Squirting is pee. So if you have a squirt fetish, you like pee. And on that note, no, I'm kidding. But seriously, on that note, I am going to let you guys go and enjoy your Halloween. Thanks for asking me some questions. I hope that I answered these to the best of my ability. And if you've heard me talk about this stuff before, why are you still here? I'm kidding. We love you all over here at Hotter Ones, and we will see you next episode. Bye.